Welcome back to Northern Medina County Chamber Alliance's TV show, Buzz on Business. I'm today's host, Mark Priebe from Proximity Marketing, and with me today is Sanna Julien from Saje Solutions. Sanna, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So I'm excited to hear about your business. You and I have met at the New Business Showcase the Chamber put on recently. So tell us a little bit about you and Saje Solutions.
Well, Saje Solutions has been in business for a little bit over a year,
Right.
but I've had a little bit more than 4 decades of experience in business leadership and marketing.
Okay.
And what I thought I'd do, along with my daughter, Amira Julien, is take those years of experience and her experience in HR
Okay.
and bring those experiences together to help other organizations really uplift and move their organizations forward by bringing all kinds of different experiences and different kinds of skills together, best practices together,
Okay, yeah.
from some of the largest organizations in the world, some of the biggest media companies, some of the biggest sports organizations, lots of really unique skills that I've learned and acquired and had the opportunity to model over the years.
It's fascinating. So one of the things that I find really interesting is the breadth of services that you can offer, and I know that's because of your experience. So tell me a little bit about those different areas of impact where you help businesses.
Yeah, so first and foremost is marketing, and marketing is really broad. I know
Yes.
the first time you and I met, you
Yeah.
asked me a question about, what area of marketing do you
Yeah.
focus on? And I said, all areas.
All of them, yeah, I
And you
remember
said, no, like which area? And I said, all of them. And that's because I've worked in radio, I've worked in television, but I've also had the opportunity to really narrow into specific areas, but also look very broadly at all
Okay.
areas of marketing and then specialize in certain areas. But being able to look broadly really helps to analyze marketing and
Okay.
conduct advertising audits. Is a company looking and spending their dollars in the right way? So marketing is one area, but business development, project management, talent acquisition,
Yeah.
talent
You mentioned
retention.
Your daughter has experience in HR.
In
right?
HR, yes. But also, are we managing our talent, but are we training our talent?
Right.
Mid-level management, mid-level training. Are they getting the support that they need? We know a lot of companies invest in senior leadership training,
Right.
but are they investing in mid-level management training?
Right, because sometimes there's a disconnect from senior management to the rest of the group, and they've never been told anything. They've never been taught anything in terms of how to manage the team or how to align with the rest of the business, right?
Absolutely. And so we have a plan that allows us to teach them how to still remain involved with their teams, involved with their colleagues, gain the respect of their colleagues, while also gaining the trust of senior leadership
Right.
and the trust of their team. And it's important that they have trust on all of those levels. And we have a program that allows us to do that called Go Mode. So
Okay.
they're in Go Mode in all
I
of
love
those
it. Go mode,
areas.
yeah.
Absolutely. So we've got that plan and we've got that program. And I want people to think about consulting as a part of their team that they have to have,
Right.
that's necessary. And especially in today's day and age when every dollar matters, we need to make sure that we look at consulting as our partner and as our friend
Right.
and as our ally, so that we budget for it and we assume that if we can't hire a full-time employee in each of these areas, if we bring on a consulting group like ours that
Right.
has experience in lots of different areas,
Right.
we're able to take advantage when we need it of these different areas,
Right.
these different expertise areas, and then we can help whenever it's needed. But put us in as a budget line item.
Yeah.
Don't wait till you need us, have us
And then
there.
figure out we don't have the money allocated to do it, yeah.
Exactly.
But what a great way to have resources to high-end talent without necessarily having it, if you're a small business, and many of our members are, you can't necessarily afford to have people on staff like that all the time. So it's great to have those resources.
That's absolutely right. And because we've got the experience across lots of different industries, as well as resources and partners. So if I don't have the experience myself, I have a partner who does. I have a relationship who does. And I'll bring those folks to the table and say, you know what, I don't have that experience myself,
Yeah.
but I have a colleague
Yep.
who has that experience.
That's nice.
And I'll bring those people to the table and introduce you and make sure that individual can help.
So it's part of that network you've built over many years of working in this industry. That's a real asset. I wanted to ask about who you work with. So what's the type, I know a question I often ask is who's your ideal customer, but just kind of who do you like to work with?
You know, I like to work with companies who want to be successful and they want to grow and they're excited about working with thought leaders and thought partners and somebody who wants to sit down at the table and roll up their sleeves and make an impact together.
Sure. Yeah.
I like working with any size organization who's committed to working with a partner who wants to see themselves improve.
Well, it's funny you mentioned like I want to work with companies that want to succeed, and that sounds obvious, but it is amazing how many people get stuck in the mindset of just working in their business versus taking a step back and saying we want to grow, we want to do X. They're just trying to get through the day-to-day of everything.
And that's why somebody like us, you know, a company like ours can help them because we're all stuck in that day-to-day trench.
Right.
You know, we go to our meetings, we have our agendas, we have our scheduled appointments, and we don't have time to sit back and think.
Right.
And if we bring somebody in and we start talking about what's challenging us, all of a sudden light bulbs go off on our end, on their end, as we're having those conversations. And we realize maybe the things that we're thinking about, that our problems aren't really the core, aren't really the issue. Or we think about opportunities that can help make us more successful, and somebody's there to take that burden on or take that opportunity on, or who can help free up some of the resources within your organization by saying, you know, you're doing these 6 things that you don't need to do anymore.
Right.
You've been doing
put that
those...
time and energy somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Sanna, thank you so much for being here and telling us about Saje Solutions. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for watching Buzz on Business. We'll see you next time.